There are 1,366 of you in tonight. It's a large enough number for you to accurately represent a cross-section of my audiences at large, which means, according to the research I've done on you, and I have done the research on you, you should, as an audience, break down as follows. 89% of you in tonight will have watched at least half of the TV shows that I've made. The remaining 11% only have a vague idea of who I am. You've been dragged along as boyfriends and girlfriends. 72, and thank you for coming. Read my mind. 72% of you represent the typical Channel 4 viewer, which means you'll be, thank you, which means you'll be aged between 16 and 35, like to think of yourself as liberal-minded. You're skeptical of authority, a bit cynical of newspapers. People think of you as being quite extrovert, whereas you know you're more detached. You tend to observe. You're a people watcher. You pick up on things about people that other people miss. You have large DVD collections, including several still in their wrapper. And you're brighter, you have better taste than everyone else you know, and you download far too much internet porn. And of course the degree... Of course, the degree to which you possess or don't possess these qualities make you more or less responsive to some of my techniques, so let's choose one of you at random, and we'll see how it goes from there. The first tour I did, I used to throw out a frisbee to choose people so you'd know that everyone that comes up is, randomly selected. And there are no stooges, I got an email genuinely from a woman whose daughter had been at the National Frisbee Throwing Championships of that year, was sure she'd see me there, learning my special frisbee aim, I suppose. As far as I know, there are no monkey chucking championships, so I will be chucking my monkey over you during the course of the evening. Third throw of the monkey. Whoever catches the monkey on the third throw, I'd like you to stand up for me. Here is throw number 1. Excellent. Anywhere else, please, for number 2? Throw it again. Throw it again for number 2. Not back at me. Excellent. One more throw. Anywhere you like, please. Throw it again. Excellent. Nicely done. Stand. Ooh, bit of a fight. Stand up for me, lady who caught it. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Danny.
Danny, do you wear a watch?
No.
Do you have any jewellery which comes off?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Necklace.
A necklace. Perfect. Thank you. And you're not planning on leaving before the second half for any reason? Okay, Danny, I'm going to use you. Can you see right in the middle of the stage there's a big white card with a large mysterious question mark on it? Danny, on the other side of that card there's a picture of an animal. And I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You will find yourself naming the animal that's pictured on the other side of the card. You see, I like to start the whole persuasion process before I come out on stage. And ideally before you even come into the theatre, because if you don't know I'm doing it, it makes you more susceptible to it. Danny, did you notice any cryptic images of animals outside of the bar where you come in, where they're handing out the brochures? No. Shit. That's all right. You're not supposed to notice. This is good. Now, this will affect you a little bit differently because you're stood up and everyone else is sat down. But I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You can't not name the correct animal. It doesn't matter if you change your mind over and over again, because ultimately it'll be the animal that feels right to you will be the animal that matches. I realise this might sound barking mad, being so sure that this will work, but it will work. I won't give you any sort of lead. It will just kind of work itself. Not only on you, Danny, also on your chums that you're sat with there as well, if they're of the same pedigree. So, Danny, give me some thought. There's a good girl. And when you... It's not a dog. It's not a dog or a cat or a monkey. I wouldn't be that obvious. But it is a land animal. Okay? A land animal. So not a fish or a bird. All right? A land animal. A 4-footed animal. All right? So, yes or no. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. I won't be in a bad mood with you. So it's not a cow. So yes or no. Yes or no, do you have an animal in your mind at the moment?
Yeah.
You do. Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, I've gone for one, everyone thinks of, everyone goes, you can change your mind. You can change your mind as many times as you like, all right? Don't have to, but if you want, this is when you can do it. So you know you have a chance to change your mind, all right? Do that if you want, or don't, stick with it, I don't mind. And then tell me, yes or no, have you got one now?
Yeah.
All right, then nice and loud so they can hear you right up at the back of the balcony. What's the animal you're thinking of?
A mouse.
A mouse. Not as many of you are sat there thinking, an elephant, correct? Yes, because this will affect you a little bit differently because you're sat down, she stood up. A mouse. Does that feel like a free choice to you?
Yeah.
It does. It doesn't just say on the monkey, be a good sport, please say mouse or anything else. It feels like a free choice, yeah? Danny's going to play quite an important part in tonight's show, so it's vital that you are all happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer before we go any further. So if we just bring up the lights, we'll just turn and take a look at Danny for a second. And cheers. I realise as we do this, I'm sorry, those of you upstairs, you're not going to be able to see Danny. I apologise for that. Although if you had just paid a little bit more, you might have been able to join in at this point. But bearing in mind Danny was chosen by the third throw of the monkey quite fairly. Even if you can't see her, would you put your hand up if you are happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer, please? Hands up if you're happy with Danny. Okay, it feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, just to be fair, hands up if you are unhappy with Danny for any reason. Please don't put your own hand up at this point, Danny. All right, well, barring about 3 of you, that's an overwhelming vote in your favour, Danny. So why don't you leave the monkey where it is and head up here on stage as quickly as you can. Up you come, Danny. Run, Danny, run. Let Danny through. Run, Danny. Here she comes. Run, Danny, run. That's walking slowly. That's not even a saunter. Hello, Danny. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Would you come and stand over there by the mic for me? Okay, now look, I'm not going to go anywhere near that bit of paper, the card. I don't think I'm going to change it. Equally, I don't want you looking on the other side yet. But Danny, if you can just go and put your hand on the top of it, so when I tell you to, you can turn it around. Does that make sense? All right? So on the count of 3, I want you to turn it right the way around like that, so you can step back and it leans the other way against the table and they can all see what it is. Does that make sense? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, a mouse, remember? 2, 3. Turn it round. A mouse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, clearly, yes, clearly Danny has some kind of gift. Yeah, you call that psychic or you call that intuition. You are the judges, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mouse. No. That is a baby mouse with the little tits. I don't know what it is. It's not why you're up here, Danny. Come take a step back. It's not why you're up here. Okay, you're actually up here because of this briefcase on the table, all right? I'm going to give you this briefcase for the duration of the show, Danny. Your job is to bring the briefcase back in one piece at the end of the show, all right? Now, hang on. Hang on. There's a chain on top of the case, and hanging from the chain, you might not be able to see at the back, is a padlock. You can see that from here, yep? If you look that way. Yes. Your job during the interval is to try and work out the combination on the lock, all right? So look, you can have a look at it so you can see it clearly. It's a combination lock. So look, very simple. You get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14, yeah, or whatever the number is, and you'll need 3 of those numbers to open the lock, all right? So not a challenge to force it open, but I would like you to try and work it out. So if you grab the case for me, that's for you. Thank you. Also, it's just sat in an envelope. Can you grab the envelope too? And bring both of them over here to the microphone. Put the case down for a second, and you mentioned you wore a necklace, so can I just take that off you, or can you take it off easily? Okay. Bear with us. Thank you so much. Easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's very nice. It's a very nice, it's Elizabeth Duke, I think. Okay. I will give you the necklace back when I get the case back from you in one piece at the end of the show, Danny. All right? I realise that... Stay there. I realise it probably sounds a little untrusting. It is, frankly. I have toured with the show for 2 years, and ever since doing this in Newcastle, I can't be too careful. So I will hand the necklace to my trusty roadie, Stephen, who will look after it for the duration of the show. Thank you, Stephen. If you can come back to the mic for me. To the mic, thank you. Put the case down for a second. Now, before you go back, I'd like you to open up the black envelope for me. Inside is a folded sheet of paper. You need to open that up, and nice and clearly, you don't want to unfold it, but just read out what it says on the outside into the mic, nice and clearly. Out loud, please.
I promise to look after the case and not to get drunk in the interval and leave it in the toilets. I take full responsibility for a rubbish ending to the show if I lose it. And I'm sorry, I laughed at your drawing.
Hang on.
I can see it was a...
I could see it was A. And the animal you said was a...
mouse.
And I can tell you this, you didn't change your mind, did you?
No.
You stuck with it. Open it up. What does it say?
A mouse.
Show them. Show them. A mouse. Ladies and gentlemen, a mouse it was. Danny, thank you so much. I will see you at the end of the show. Look, grab the case. I'll see you right at the end. Danny, everybody.